Rizal Higher Education, Scholastic, Triumph at Ateneo de Manila taong 1872 to 1877. Noong 1872, unang pumasok si Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila. At ang sistema ng edukasyon ay hewista. Dito ay pinapakilalas ang pisikal na kultura bilang bahagi ng programa nito. Gayon din ang paglinang sa sining tulad ng musika, pagguhit at pagpipinta. Sa pamamagitan ng ganitong sistema, sinanay ang mga mag-aaral sa mahigpit na pagdidisiplina at pagtuturo ng relihiyon. Ang paaralang ito ay pinamamahalaan ng mga Espanyol. Bago pa man maging Ateneo de Manila, ang eskwelahan na ito ay tinawag muna itong Eskwela Pia o mas kilala bilang Charity School. Si Padre Magin Perando ang tagapamahala sa Ateneo de Manila. Hindi niya binigyan ng pagkakataon si Rizal na makapasok sa Ateneo de Manila dahil sa dalawang dahilan. Ang una doon ay huli si Rizal sa pagpapatala at ang pangalawa naman ay maliit si Rizal kumpara sa kaniyang gulang. Paano nga ba nakapasok si Jose Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila? Nakapasok si Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila dahil sa tulong ni Padre Burgos. Dahil inilapit ni Padre Burgos si Jose Rizal sa kanyang pamangkin na si Manuel Ceres Burgos na siyang tumulong kay Rizal upang makapasok sa Ateneo de Manila. Si Rizal ay tumira din sa labas ng bahay ni Titay sa Intramuros. At si Rizal ay nag-aral din sa Santa Isabel College at nagbabayad siya ng 300 pesos per session para sa kanyang pag-aaral ng subject na Espanyol. Rizal first year in Ateneo de Manila, year 1872 to 1873. Ang unang taon ng pag-aaral ni Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila sa kursong Bachelor of Arts at ang kanyang professor ay si Father Jose Beck. Siya ay nilagay sa lower section kung tawagin dahil siya ay bago lamang at kaunti lamang ang kanyang kaalaman sa Espanyol, kaya naman pumapasok siya sa Santa Isabel College upang mapalawak at maragdagan ang kanyang kaalaman tungkol sa Espanyol. Second year in Ateneo de Manila, 1873 to 1874. Sa ikalawang taon ni Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila ay naging professor niya si Padre Francisco de Paula Sanchez. Si Rizal ay nawala sa pamumuno, ngunit nagsisi siya at nag-aral ng mabuti at sa kabila ng kanyang pagsisikap ay nakatanggap siya ng matataas na marka sa lahat ng asignatura at nagkaroon ng gintong medalya. Tinagurian siyang emperor ng klase o emperor student o mas kilala bilang pinakamatalino at pinakamahusay sa klase. Third year in Ateneo de Manila, taong 1874 to 1875. Nananatiling mataas ang mga marka ni Jose Rizal sa lahat ng asignatura. Ngunit nabigo siya na makakuha ng gintong medalya sa asignaturang Espanyol dahil hindi gaanong kahanga-hanga ang kahusayan niya sa pagsasalita ng Espanyol. Fourth year in Ateneo de Manila, year 1875 to 1876. Noong June 16, 1875, siya ay naging interno sa Ateneo. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng interno? Ang interno ay nananatili siya sa loob ng campus para mas makapag-concentrate sa pag-aaral. Sa tulong ng kanyang professor na si Padre Sanchez, ay nagsumikap siyang mag-aral ng mabuti. At si Padre Sanchez ay itinuturing niyang pinakamahusay at pinakamagaling na professor sa Ateneo de Manila. Sa huling taon ni Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila ay mas naging maayos ang pag-aaral niya at tinagurian siyang pinakamatalinong mag-aaral at pinagmamalaki ng mga hewista. At siya ay nagkamit ng 5 medalya at nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral noong March 28, 1877 sa edad na 16 years old. Extracurricular activities in Ateneo de Manila. He was an active extracurricular activities, an emperor inside the classroom, and he was a campus leader outside. He was an active member, later secretary, of a religious society, the Marian Congregation. Rizal was also a member of Academy of Spanish Literature, and the Academy of Natural Science. Matapos makapagtapos ni Rizal sa Ateneo de Manila sa kursong Bachelor of Arts, ay nag-enroll or pumasok naman siya sa eskwelahan sa University of Santo Tomas at kumuha ng kursong Frelo o mas kilala bilang Metaphysics dahil ito ang gusto ng kanyang ama. Subalit, hindi niya ito ipinagpatuloy dahil sa kanyang ikalawang kurso ay nagpalit siya ng kurso na medisina dahil unti-unti niya nang napapansin na lumalabo na ang mata ng kanyang ina na naging dahilan kung bakit nagpalit siya ng kursong na medisina. Sa pagpasok niya sa medisina, hindi niya masyadong naipamalas ang kanyang katalinuhan, hindi katulad nung siya ay kumukuha ng kursong Metaphysics o Prelo kung tawagin.
Ngayon, tutungo naman tayo sa buhay ni Rizal abroad. Rizal decided to leave the country to complete his medical studies in Europe. Secret mission in Spain, 1882 to 1885. To observe keenly in the life and culture, language and customs, industries and commerce, and governments and laws of the European nation, in order to prepare himself in the mighty task of liberating his oppressed people from Spanish tyranny. Secret departure in Spain. Rizal's departure in Spain was kept secret to avoid detection by the Spain authorities and the friars. Even his own parents were unaware of his secret mission in Spain, as he knew they would not allow him to go. So, ang nakakaalam lang ng pag-alis ni Rizal is yung kapatid niyang si Pasiano, si Saturnina, at saka yung tiyo Antonio niya, at saka mga ilang kaibigan. Si Pasiano yung nag-asikaso ng pag-alis niya. Ginawa niya lahat para hindi mahuli si Rizal or walang makapansin na umalis si Rizal. Siya din yung nag-asikaso ng passport ni Rizal na pinangalanan sa pangalan na Jose Mercado. Before of Rizal's secret departure, he wrote a farewell letter to his beloved parents and another one for his sweetheart, Leonor Rivera. It was both delivered shortly after he sailed away. And on May 8, 1882, Rizal boarded the Spanish steamer Salvadora, bound for Singapore. Rizal in Singapore. On May 8, 1882, during his way to Singapore, Rizal saw a beautiful island called Talim Island with the Susong Dalaga. On May 9, 1882, Rizal landed in Singapore and registered at Hotel de la Paz and spent 2 days on a sightseeing soiree of the city, which was a colony of England. During his stay, Rizal visited the famous botanical garden, the beautiful Buddhist temple, the busy shopping district, and the statue of Sir Thomas Stanford Raffles, the founder of Singapore. Rizal's life in Barcelona and Madrid. During his summer vacation in Spain, he was able to travel and meet some of the Filipinos who live in the city. On that time, Rizal wrote an essay about how much he loves and misses his homeland. Yung title nun is yung El Amor Patrio or Love of Country. It was the title of his first nationalistic essay which he wrote in Barcelona. This was also the first Manila bilingual newspaper na na-publish in Spanish and Tagalog. On August 20, 1882, his essay was published in Diaryong Tagalog and was translated into Tagalog by Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Tapos, during that time, meron pa siyang mga ginawa. Yung pangalawang ginawa niya is yung Los Viajes or yung travel. Yung pangatlong ginawa niya is yung Revista de Madrid or yung Review of Madrid. Pero hindi yun na-publish kasi binalik sa kanya kasi kulang na sa pondo yung publisher. On November 3, 1882, Rizal was enrolled in Universidad Central de Madrid under the course of medicine and philosophy and letters. While waiting for classes to begin in Madrid, he enrolled in the Academy of Fine Arts of San Fernando for painting and traveled to various historical sites and museums because of his involvement in various lessons and the difficulty. During his stay in Madrid, Rizal joined the Círculo Hispano-Filipino. It is a group of Filipinos and Spaniards who want the government to reform. He also wrote Mipeden Versos. Yung Mipeden Versos, isa yung tula tungkol sa sadness of an artisan who live in a place far from his origin. Parang namimiss na yung lugar na pinanggalingan niya. Aside from his studies and other art lessons, he had the opportunity to meet Consuelo Ortiga y Perez, the daughter of Don Pablo, who is the mayor of Manila. Ayun, na-meet niya si Consuelo Ortiga. Pero, na-in-love siya doon. Rizal fell in love with Consuelo, but because Eduardo de Lete was courting Consuelo, he did not pursue his feelings for Consuelo. And instead, he wrote a poem which showed his admiration to this lady. Dahil nga may naniligaw na kay Consuelo, hindi niya na pinursue. So, ang ginawa niya na lang is, sumulat na lang siya ng tula expressing his admiration towards Consuelo. Rizal in Paris, 1883. On July 17, 1883, Rizal traveled to Paris and visited the different tourist spots in the city. The museum, the Opera House, Cathedral of Notre Dame, Bois de Boulogne, Madeleine Church, the Column of Verdun, the Invalides, and the libraries. He had also the opportunities to visit some restaurants in Paris. Rizal was mistaken by the Parisian as Japanese. That's why the prices of his food, lodging, and entrance fees were higher than these of others nationalities. Napagkamalan daw na Japanese si Rizal. Kaya yung mga Parisian is mas siguro tingin nila kay Rizal is mayaman. Kaya yung singil ng mga food and other expenses ay mas mataas kaysa doon sa ibang mga nandoon. In a letter to his family, he stated that Paris is Europe's most expensive capital. Yun nga, dahil siguro sa naramdaman ni Rizal na mahal nga. So, kaya niya nasabi na mahal. Europe's most expensive capital yung Paris. He could not afford the high cost of living in Paris, so he decided to go back to Madrid. So mahal nga yung high cost of living sa Paris, kaya nag-decided na lang siya na bumalik na lang ulit ng Madrid. Rizal is a Mason. Rizal was impressed by how openly and freely the Spanish mission criticized government policies and lambasted the friars, something that could not be done in the Philippines. March 1883, he became a member of the Masonic Lodge known as Acacia. His motivation for becoming a Mason is to enlist the aid of Freemasonry in his fight against the friars in the Philippines. November 15, 1890, Rizal became a Mason leader after he transferred to Lodge Solidaridad. February 15, 1892, Le Grand Orient de France in Paris conferred the Master Mason Diploma on Rizal. In Gay Paris, 1885-1886. After Rizal completed his studies at the Central University of Madrid at the age of 24 and already a physician, he also traveled to Paris to further his knowledge in ophthalmology. November 1885, Rizal was living in Paris, where he sojourned for about 4 months. 1852 to 1906, he worked as Dr. Louis de Weckert's assistant. November 1885 to February 1886, Rizal was already a well-known French ophthalmologist. January 1, 1886, he wrote a letter to his parents. The letter revealed that Rizal was rapidly improving his knowledge of ophthalmology. On February 1, 1886, after acquiring enough experience, As an ophthalmologist in Dr. Reckert's clinic, Rizal reluctantly left gay Paris. Rizal's Grand Tour of Europe with Dr. Viola, 1887. On May 11, 1887, Rizal and Viola left Berlin by train. Their next destination was Dresden, one of the best cities in Germany. On Dresden, they visited Dr. Adolf B. Mayer. Rizal was deeply impressed by a painting of Prometheus Bound. They met Dr. Fyodor Hagor. They planned to visit Leitmeritz to see Blumentritt. Teschen, now in Czechoslovakia, was their stopover after leaving Dresden. Rizal and Viola sent a wire to Blumentritt, suggested by Dr. Hagor. First meeting with Blumentritt at this train station, Rizal arrived from Germany. On May 13, 1887, at 1:30 p.m., Rizal and Viola on board arrived at the railroad station of Leitmeritz, Bohemia. Professor Blumentritt carried a sketch of Rizal to identify his Filipino friends. He warmly received Rizal and Viola. Rizal and Blumentritt met in person and greeted each other in fluent German. Blumentritt loved Rizal as his son because of his talents. Blumentritt helped two tourists get a room at Hotel Krebs, and they stayed in Leitmeritz from May 17, 1887. Rizal on Prague. They met Dr. Welcome, a professor of University of Prague. Rizal and Viola visited the tombs of Copernicus, the famous astronomer, the Museum of Natural History, bacteriological laboratories, famous cave San Juan Nepomuceno, the Catholic saint was imprisoned, and many more. On Vienna, May 20, they went to Vienna, the Queen of Danube. They met Norfenfalls, one of the greatest nobilists in Europe. Rizal and Viola stayed in Hotel Metropole. Danuvian voyage to Linz. May 25, Rizal and Viola left Vienna on a riverboat to see the beautiful sights of Danube River. Next, they went to Stuttgart, Baden, and then rainfall. They saw the waterfall, also known as the most beautiful waterfall in Europe. On Geneva, Rizal and Viola left on a little boat, went to Foggy Lemon Lake to Geneva, the beautiful city. On June 19, 1887, Rizal treated Viola in his 26th birthday.
Rizal trip in Hong Kong. 27 years old siya nung papunta siya ng Hong Kong. Nag-aaral pa siya noon ng physician at nirecognize siya as a man of letter. Kasi alam naman natin si Rizal, mahilig siya magsulat, kaya tinawag siya gano'n. Nanatili si Rizal sa Pilipinas sa loob ng 6 na buwan at sumakay siya ng sapiro patungong Hong Kong. Habang bumabiyahe sila ay nag-stop over sila sa isang lugar na tinatawag na Amoy at hindi siya bumaba dito dahil sa 3 dahilan. Una ay masama ang kanyang pakiramdam, pangalawa masyadong malakas ang ulan, at pangatlo ay may mga naririnig siya na hindi daw masyadong malinis yung lugar na yun. February 8, 1888 ay nakarating si Rizal sa Hong Kong at sumulat siya patungkol sa kanyang napagmasdan dun sa bansang Hong Kong na ito daw ay maliit ngunit malinis na bansa. Sa paninirahan ni Rizal sa Hong Kong ay may mga nakilala siya na mga Pilipino na naninirahan sa Mariana Island at ito yung mga Pilipino na dating mayaman ngunit dahil sa hinuli ng Espanyol ay naghihirap sila noong 1872. Ni Rizal sa Hong Kong ay nagtataka siya kung bakit may tila sumusunod sa kanya at ang pangalan ng sumusunod sa kanya ay Jose Baranda. Naniniwala si Rizal na ipinadala ito ng Spaniards Authority para mag-spy sa kanya. Pagkatapos naman ng trip ni Rizal sa Hong Kong ay pumunta siya sa Macau noong February 18, 1888. Sumakay siya sa King Kiang na ferry steamer. Describe ni Rizal yung Macau na maliit na city, low, gloomy. February 16, 1888. Rizal expressed his bitterness in a letter written in Blumentritt. They forced Rizal to leave the country while he was still sick. Rizal expressed his bitterness in a letter written in Blumentritt. They forced Rizal to leave the country while he was still sick. Lieutenant Tabiel de Andrade helped him as well as Governor General Terrero. Dominicans witnessed Rizal holding secret meetings with men and women on top of a hill. Rizal was given money by countrymen in order for him to leave. February 19, 1888, Rizal witnessed a Catholic procession in which devotees were dressed in blue and purple dresses and carried unlighted candles. During a 2-week stay in Hong Kong, Rizal studied Chinese life, language, drama, and customs. Rizal experiences. Rizal fired many firecrackers on the window of his hotel. Boisterous Chinese theater with noisy audience and noisier music. Rizal experienced the Marathon Laureate Party, where guests were served numerous dishes such as dried fruits, geese, shrimp, century egg, etc. It was also called the longest meal in the world. Rizal was well aware that Dominican's order was the wealthiest religion in Hong Kong. It had millions of dollars deposited in banks. Departure from Hong Kong, February 22, 1888. Rizal boarded the Oceanic, an American steamer, and left Hong Kong. February 19, 1888 ay dumating si Rizal sa Yokohama, Japan at nag-stay siya sa Hotel Grande. Noong sumunod na araw ay pumunta siya ng Tokyo at nagpunta sa Hotel Tokyo at nag-stay siya doon mula March 2 hanggang March 7. Pagdating niya sa Tokyo ay binisita agad siya ni Juan Perez Caballero. Ito ay isang kalihim ng legasyong Espanyol. At inaanyayahan siya na manatili muna dun sa legasyong Espanyol. Alam ni Rizal na ang Espanyol na diplomata ay inatasan na magmanman sa kanya sa Japan. Tinanggap niya ang paanyaya ni Juan Perez Caballero sa dalawang kadahilanan. Una, upang makatipid siya sa gastos. Kasi kung mag-hotel pa siya, mas magastos pa. Pangalawa ay wala naman dapat itago sa Spaniards Authority. March 7, 1888 ay umalis na sila sa Hotel Tokyo at tumungo na sa legasyong Espanyol. Pagdating ni Rizal sa Japan ay nabighani siya sa ganda ng mga lupain ng cherry blossoms, ng mga magagandang dambana, ang mga pag-uugali ng Japanese, mga cultures nila. Sa mga unang araw ni Rizal sa Japan ay nahihirapan siya makipag-communicate dahil nga sa iba yung lengguwahe na ginagamit niya. At pinagtatawanan din siya dahil sa naiiba nga yung salitang ginagamit niya. Minsan ay napagkakamalan siyang Japanese pero hindi niya naman kaya magsalita ng Japanese. Upang maiwasan ang kahihiyan ay inaral ni Rizal ang Japanese language, ang cultures ng Japanese, mga musika, sining, maging ang judo ay inaral niya din. Sa pagpunta ni Rizal sa Japan ay may mga ilang bagay siyang kinahangaan dito sa bansa na to. Una yung kalinisan ng bansa, gandahan at pagiging magalang ng mga Hapones. Ikatlo ang magandang mga halina ng mga Haponesa at ikaapat naman ay konti lang ang mga magnanakaw dito. Panglima, bibihira lamang ang mga pulubi. Ang hindi lang nagustuhan ni Rizal sa bansang Japan ay ang rickshaw, isa itong sasakyan na mano-manong hinihila ng mga lalaki. Sa bansang Japan ay mayroong isang inibig si Rizal na si Seiko Uisuy o mas kilala bilang Oseisan. Ang Oseisan ay ipinangalan sa kanya ni Rizal. Napaibig naman si Oseisan agad kay Rizal dahil ito ay maginoo, magalang, at matalino. April 13, 1888 ay sumakay na si Rizal sa barko patungo sa Estados Unidos. Nang dumating si Rizal sa London ay pansamantala siyang nanirahan sa bahay ni Antonio Maria Regador at si Antonio Maria Regador ay isang takas na Pilipino sa Marianas noong 1872 at nagtatrabaho sa London bilang isang abogado. Maraming nakilala si Rizal sa tinatawag na City of Rome. Dahil nga maraming alam na lingwahe si Rizal, madali na lang sa kanya na makipag-communicate sa ibang tao. Bilib na bilib yung mga pasahero, yung mga Europeo sa kanya dahil nagagawa niyang gamitin yung yoyo bilang isang pananggal. Nakarating si Rizal sa Liverpool noong May 24, 1888 at nag-stay siya sa Adelphi Hotel. Sumulat siya sa pamilya niya at inilarawan niya kung gaano kaganda ang Liverpool. Annotating Morga's book. The greatest achievement of Rizal was annotating of Morga's books, Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas, which was published in Mexico in 1609. Rizal laboriously the old history of the Philippines written by Francisco Quirino, Francisco Collins, Francisco Argensola, Francisco Palencia, and etc.
In Belgium, Brussels, 1890, when Rizal moved to Brussels, he lived in a modest boarding house on 38th through Philippine campaign, accompanied by Jose Albert, who later on left the city and was replaced by Jose Alejandro. During his stay in the city, Rizal was busy writing his novel, which was continuation of Noli. Aside from this, he also writes articles for La Solidaridad and letters to his family and friends. As a physician, Rizal spent part of his time in medical clinic. For recreation, Rizal had gymnastic at the gymnasium and target practice and fencing at the armory. As early as in September 1886, when he was in Leipzig, Rizal adopted the Philippinized Tagalog orthography in his Tagalog translations of Schiller's Wilhelm Tell and Andersen's fairy tales, and again used it in his first novel, Noli Me Tangere. Then the second, while Rizal was in Brussels, his article entitled Sobre la Nueva Ortografía de la Lengua Tagala, the new orthography of the Tagalog language, was published in Solidaridad on April 15, 1890. Rizal received bad news from home. The letter said that Calamba agrarian reform was getting worse. The sad news from home depressed Rizal. His heart grieved to know the sorrow of his parents, brothers, and brother-in-laws. In the face of suffering which afflicted his family, Rizal planned to go home. He could not stay in Brussels writing a book, while his family in the Philippines were persecuted. His fortune in Madrid, 1890-1891. Early in August 1890, Rizal arrived in Madrid. He tried all the legal means to seek justice for his family and Calamba tenants, but to no avail. On top of his misfortunes, his fiancée for 11 years, Leonor Rivera, married a British engineer. That unfortunate event broke his heart. Upon arrival in Madrid, Rizal immediately sought the help of Filipino colony, the Association Hispana Filipina, and the liberal Spanish newspapers, in securing justice for the oppressed Calamba tenants, including his family. Rizal challenged Retana to duel. Wenceslao E. Retana, his bitter enemy of the pen, a talented Spanish scholar, was then a press agent of the Friars in Spain. He used to attack the Filipinos in various newspapers in Madrid and other cities in Spain. Retana wrote an article in La Época asserting that family and friends of Rizal had not paid their rent, so they were ejected from their lands in Calamba by the Dominicians. Such as insult stirred Rizal to action. Immediately, he sent his seconds to Retana with his challenge to a duel. Infidelity of Leonor Rivera. Rizal received a letter from Leonor announcing her coming marriage to an Englishman, the choice of her mother, and asking his forgiveness. Then Rizal does rivalry and abdicates his leadership. Towards the closing days of 1890, there arose an unfortunate rivalry between Rizal and M.H. Del Pilar for supremacy. Because of this, the Philippines were divided into two hostile camps, the Rizalistas and the Pilaristas. The situation was becoming explosive and critical. Despite of winning the votes, Rizal graciously declined the coveted position. Thus, at Jus Madrid, Rizal wrote a brief note thanking his patriots for electing him as responsible. He packed up his bags and paid his bills and boarded a train leaving for Biarritz. Then it was the last time he saw Madrid. His agonizing heart bade goodbye to the metropolis of which he had written years ago. Biarritz Vacation and Romance with Nelly posted 1891. To seek solace for his disappointments in Madrid, Rizal took a vacation in the resort city of Biarritz on the fabulous French Riviera. He was a guest of the rich Busset family at its winter residence, Villa Eliada. On March 29, 1891, the eve of his departure from Biarritz, he finished the manuscript of his first novel, El Filibusterismo, and he wrote a letter to Lumentit. Rizal arrived in Biarritz on February 1891. He stayed in the residence of the Fustet. In February 11, 1891, he wrote a letter to Mariano Ponce. Romance with Nelly posted. Rizal described Nelly as a real Filipina, highly intelligent, vivacious in temperament, and morally upright. His friend like M.H. De Pilar teased him. A letter from his friend came to answer his letters about their opinion to Rizal's letter. They didn't get married because of two things. Rizal doesn't want to convert it to a Protestant, and second, Nelly's mother was against the wedding. The Paris back to Brussels, retirement of propaganda movements. First, he departed from Biarritz on March 30, 1891 by the train he stayed with his friend Valentin Ventura. Second, by the middle of April 1891, he was back to Brussels. Third, he was happily greeted by his landladies. Fourth, since January 1891, he abdicated his leadership in Madrid. And the fifth is, Rizal wanted to expand his knowledge about being an ophthalmologist. Then the last is, May 1, 1891, he notified the propaganda authorities in Manila to cancel his allowance.
El Filibusterismo published in Gent in 1891. So tulad ng No Limit ng Here, ang El Filibusterismo din ay maraming pinagdaanan bago to ma-publish. So on October 1887, sinimulan na ni Rizal ang pagsusulat ng El Filibusterismo habang siya ay nag-aaral o nagpa-practice ng medisina sa Calamba. And July 5, 1891, Rizal left Brussels for Gent, a famous university in Belgium. So bakit nga ba, anong dahilan ni Rizal kung bakit siya umalis ng Brussels at lumipat ng Gent? So narito ang dahilan kung bakit umalis si Rizal ng Brussels at lumipat ng Gent. Una, the cost of printing in Gent was cheaper than in Brussels. So
mas mataas yung paglalathala ng kanyang sinulat sa Brazil kumpara sa Gent. And second is to escape from the intensing attraction of Petit Suzanne. So, sino ba si Petit Suzanne? Sa ibang article, siya ay si Suzanne Jacobi. So, sino siya sa buhay ni Rizal? Si Rizal ay nung mapunta siya ng Gent, nakilala niya ang magkapatid na sina Suzanne at saka si Marie. So, tumira siya sa paupahang kasama sila Suzanne, and then doon nagkaroon siya ng parang fling-fling ganon. Parang hindi siya seryosong relasyon sa kay Petit Suzanne. So, nung umalis si Rizal sa Gent, naiwan ito. Tapos, sinulatan niya si Rizal, pero si Rizal ay nasa Madrid na. So, in Gent, Rizal lived in a cheap boarding house and met compatriots. Si Jose Alejandro from Pampanga at Edelberto Evangelista from Manila. Doon niya nakilala ang dalawang kababayan niyang ito. So, sumigi si Rizal sa mumurahing paupahan at doon niya nag-roommate si Jose Alejandro from Pampanga. Pero, hindi pa rin naging madali ang buhay ni Rizal sa Gent kahit na mababa ang presyo ng paglalathala ng kanyang libro. So, during the printing of El Filibusterismo, naghahanap si Rizal ng isang printing shop na maaaring magbigay sa kanya ng mababang presyo para sa paglalathala ng kanyang nobela. So, may nag-alok sa kanyang printing shop. Ito yung F. Mir Van Lopres, number 66, Vianderen Street. So, nag-alok na handang mag-print na kanyang libro ng hulugan. At pinadalhan din siya ni Basa ng pera at saka ng isa pa niyang kaibigan para may pang down payment. Pero hindi sumapat yung kanyang yung down payment o yung pera niya, kaya naman nagbenta siya ng mga alahas niya. Pero bago sumapit ang August 6, 1891, noong July 1891, sumulat siya kay Basa na kung walang dumating na pera sa kanya, kinakailangan niyang itigil yung paglalathala ng kanyang nobela. Hanggang sa sumapit yung August 6, 1891, yung paglalathala ng yung pangamba ni Rizal na baka mahinto. So, nagkatotoo na i-suspend yung paglalathala ng kanyang libro sa kadahilan ng wala na siyang maibigay na pera para sa paunang print ng kanyang nobela. Kaya naman, nung malaman ni Valentin Ventura na tinapos si Rizal sa paglalathala ng kanyang nobela, pinadalhan agad ito ni Valentin Ventura ng pera para pambayad doon sa lahat-lahat ng kanyang kinakailangan para mai-print na lahat yun. So nung naibigay na yun, agad-agad naman itong na-print at natapos. Nung matapos ang July at ang August, na puro pahirap kay Rizal bago mailathala ang kanyang nobela. Noong September 18 ay sa wakas, lumabas sa pamamahayag ang El Filibusterismo. Kaya naman sa sobrang saya ni Rizal, he immediately sent on his date 2 printed copies to Hong Kong and 1 for Basa and other for Sixto Lopez. So Rizal gratefully donated the original manuscript and with autograph binigay niya to kay Valentin Ventura kasi siya yung huling tumulong para mailathala lahat ng kanyang libro. Next is Rizal left Europe for Hong Kong where he lived from November 1891 to June 1892. So anong dahilan kung bakit umalis si Rizal? Una, life was unbearable in Europe because of his political difference with Marcelo H. del Pilar and other Filipinos in Spain. Pero kahit magkaiba ang pamamalakad nila sa politika ni Marcelo at saka ni Rizal, ay naging magkaibigan pa rin ito. And second is to be near his beloved Philippine and family. Third is gusto niyang mamuna sa propaganda o yung pamamalakad sa propaganda ng Hong Kong. Next is farewell in Europe. So, 2 linggo pagkatapos ng paglalathala ng El Filibusterismo, umalis si Rizal ng Ghent at patungong Paris, kung saan nanatili siyang ng ilang araw na magpaalam sa mga kasamahan niya, sa mga kaibigan niya na si Lunas at sa mga iba pa niyang kaibigan. And October 18, 1891, he proceeded by train to Marseilles and he boarded in the steamer Melbourne bound for Hong Kong. In his travel, he brought with him letter of recommendation by Juan Luna for Manuel Camus and compatriot living in Singapore. And dala-dala niya rin ang 600 copies ng El Filibusterismo. So, habang bumabiyahe si Rizal, mayroon siyang mga kasama o mayroong mahigit 81st class passenger, mostly Europes and 2 Kastila. At si Rizal ay nag-iisang Asyano lamang sa kanila, ngunit sa kabila ng pagiging natatangi niyang pasaherong kulay kayumanggi, marami siyang naging kaibigan at dahil sa kanyang kaalaman sa maraming wika at sa husay niya sa pag-i-sketch. So, Rizal and the German ladies. So, nung oras na to, habang bumabiyahe siya, ihapunan na. So, Rizal was eating a long time at table. Again, he was the only Asian habang bumabiyahe. So, German ladies at a bigger table are gossiping about his being the only Asian. So, Rizal just keeps silent though he know what they were saying. The door of the dining room suddenly flies open. So, habang kumakain sila, nagkukwentuhan yung dalawang babae or pinag-uusapan siya ng dalawang babaeng German. At nag-usap sila na sa German, if this man in front of us were gentleman, would close the door. So, Rizal being gentleman, close the door. And then, nagulat sila nung ma-realize nilang nakakaintindi pala si Rizal ng German at napaka-gentleman ni Rizal. So, hindi lang gentleman, maraming kaalamanan si Rizal sa maraming lengguwahe. Kaya naman, laking gulat nila nung isinara ni Rizal.
Next is on November 20, 1891, Rizal arrived in Hong Kong. He was welcomed by Filipino residents and especially his old friend Jose Basa. He then established his residence at number 5 D. Aguilar Street and number 2 Rednac Neras, which is where he also put up his medical clinic. December 1, 1891, Rizal wrote his parents asking their permission to return home. Pero sa parehong araw nakatanggap siya ng sulat mula sa kanyang bayaw na si Manuel T. Hidalgo na naglalaman ng malungkot na balita tungkol sa pagpapahirap sa kanyang pamilya sa Calamba. And kasama na rin dito yung 25 persons and including the father and yung mga kapatid niya si Neneng, si Sisa, and Lucia at saka si Pasiano. And the rest of us.
Hidalgo also stated in his letter that he was preparing a letter to the Queen of Regent of Spain explaining the Calamba situation in order to secure justice. Next is family reunion in Hong Kong. So before Christmas of 1891, he was gladdened by the arrival of his father, brother, and Silvestre Obaldo, his brother-in-law, in Hong Kong. Not long afterwards, his mother, who was already 65 by then and almost blind, and his sister and sister Lucia, Josefa, and Trinidad also arrived. So napakasaya ni Rizal nung dumating ang kanyang pamilya sama-samang nag-reunion. On January 31, 1892, he wrote the Blumentritt recounting their pleasant life in Hong Kong. So nagsulat siya kung ano nga ba nangyari sa kanyang family reunion sa Hong Kong, kung gaano kasaya yung mga nangyari sa kanya. Is ophthalmic surgeon in Hong Kong. si Dr. Lorenzo P. Marquez helped to build up White Clinic. Pero isa siyang Portuguese physician na naging kaibigan ni Rizal at naging hinangaan ni Rizal. Siya din ang tumulong kay Rizal upang magkaroon ng malawak na kliyente. So lahat ng kaso ng may masakit sa mata kay Rizal pumunta, and naging success naman siya dito. And he successfully operated on his mother's left eye. So Rizal possessed the qualities of great ophthalmic surgeon. And it was even said that he had dedicated his life to medicine. Last trip abroad in 1896. So, July 31, 1896, Rizal left for Dapitan on board the Espanya for Manila with delightful stopovers in Dumaguete, Cebu, Iloilo, Capiz, and Romblon. So while Rizal was patiently waiting on the crucial Castilla for the next steamer to take his to Spain, fortuitous events occurred and pressing to the downfall of Spanish power in Asia. And August 19 in 1896, the Katipunan plot to overthrow the Spanish rule by means revolution was discovered by Fray Mariano Gil Agustinian Cura of Tondo after Teodoro Patino's disclosure of organization's secret. And August 26, 1896, Bonifacio and the Katipunan raised the cry of revolution, o yung sa Tagalog, sigaw sa Pugadlawin, in the hills of Balintawak, a few miles of North Manila. Cry of Balintawak o yung Pugadlawin, beginning of revolution tearing a community tax certificate to mark their separation from Spain. In August 30, 1896, departure of Rizal for Spain, the day when the state of war was proclaimed in the 8th province. Rizal received from the Governor General Blanco 2 letters of introduction. Pero yung walong probinsya, ito yun. Yung Mabuca, Balapana, Nota, Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, tsaka Tarlac. So yung unang letter, ito yun yung the Minister of War. And then yung second is the Minister of Colonius with a covering letter which absolved him from all blame for raging revolution. Next is victim of Spanish duplicity. By refusing to break his word of horror in Singapore, Rizal sealed his own doom. For without his knowledge, Governor Blanco was recently conspiring with the Minister of War and the colonists o yung Ultramar for his destruction. Great hero and genius that he was, Rizal proved to be as gullible as Sultan Zaid, another victim of Spanish integrity. So yung si Blanco and the Minister of War and the colonists were exchanging coded telegrams o yung tinatawag na lang secret conspiracy and confidential message for his arrest upon reaching Barcelona. Next is September 8, Rizal on board the Isla de Panay left Singapore at 1 p.m. Not knowing the Spanish duplicity, he happily continued the voyage towards Barcelona. And September 25, he saw the steamer Isla de Luzon leaving the Suez Canal, crammed with Spanish traps, and 2 days later, he heard from the passengers that a telegram arrived from the Manila reporting the execution of Francisco Rojas, Genato, and Osorio. And September 28, a passenger told Rizal the bad news that he would be arrested by order by Governor Gen Blanco and would be sent to prison. And September 28, a passenger told Rizal the bad news that he would be arrested by order by Gov General Blanco and would be sent to prison in Sueta sa Spanish Morocco, Gibraltar. Shocked by the news, he realized that he was flooded by the Spanish officials that made him to write a letter to his best friend. And September 30, the steamer anchored at Malta. He was officially noticed by the Captain Alema, or Captain ng German, that he should stay in his cabin until further orders from Manila. Nung makarating na siya ng Barcelona as a prison ng 8 days, he was taken out of the prison by the guards and brought to the headquarters of General Despujol. This ship left Barcelona with Rizal on board. SS Colonial arrived as Port Santiago Rizal. So, alam nyo ba, si Rizal was escorted to the grim and infamous prison Portuguese named At alam nyo ba, si Rizal was escorted to the grim, infamous prison fortress named Funjuis. Jose interview with Despujol. He would be shipped back to Manila. After the interview, Rizal was taken abroad, the Colon, which was punong-puno ng sundalo. At 8 p.m., the ship left Barcelona with the Rizal on board.